we clear?
All clear.
All right, so we're clear here. We're still live on Facebook, but here's a crazy thing, guys. I've got you on Clubhouse. And I didn't even put a title on it. It was a last minute idea. I did not think that any of you would pop in, but you did, which is crazy amazing. So really quick, because we're still on radio, Mr. Glenn Morshower, who's a dear friend of mine. You all know him from movies. You've seen him for absolutely forever. Just a dear friend. He actually just popped in to say hi. So I'm going to elevate him up if I know how to do this. You invite to speak. Great. We've sent him an invite. And Isabella is already a moderator, which is great. I don't know how all this works. Glenn is either not accepting. Where did he go? I'm inviting him. He's not doing that. So Princeton, I'm going to invite him. And this is crazy. I want you guys to appreciate and understand this platform. So Mr. Glenn Morshower, will you say hi to my radio audience around the world and on Facebook?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, that is a weird thing. Like you never know what somebody's doing. So Glenn, pop in for 1 second. Princeton, hang on one second. Will you share with everybody listening around the world right now, outside of this Clubhouse, and we're not recording, just, but what, okay, I should say that's actually not true. If you guys are on my page right now, we are live on Facebook on my fan page. If you don't want to talk, that's okay. And we're being on my radio show. So you need to know that, okay? So Glenn,
by the way,
hi.
amazing.
Well, it's funny.
Hi, dear.
Hey, baby, how are you?
Really well. It's interesting that so many rooms I've gone to in the last 2 weeks, and it's Forbes.
Glenn, you know what I'm overcoming? It's actually a fantasy.
Shyness?
Well, no, but it's not about shyness, guys. You see the Forbes now. But what you don't know is that I spent most of my life, I'm listening to Samantha being mute. I was an ugly, awkward little kid who had very few friends. And then when I started this crazy acting career, much like you are alone, you're in your head, you're on auditions. I didn't have a whole lot of people to talk to, but I had a whole lot of things to say.
10 seconds.
So Glenn, we got 10 seconds. I'm actually going to bring you live on the radio.
Well, finish your current segment.
You are listening to the Forbes Factor. To call in with a question or comment, please call 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. Or send an email to Forbes@ForbesRiley.com. Now back to the show. Here's Forbes Riley.
So now I'm known as the queen of mixed media. It used to be mixed martial arts because I'd gotten mugged many years ago, found myself in a dojo, kicking and fighting, became a black belt. The lesson of that is that I spent so long between Aikido and Wing Chun and Taekwondo. I know you look at me going, really? That's what led to my fitness product. That is one of the reasons I do what I do to stay active and fit, because I should have attended the self-defense class the day before I got mugged, but I didn't think about it. Things we don't think about in life. Samantha Rogers.
So you need them, of course. That's how it is.
Well, but not when you're surrounding yourself with people who are up-leveling you with you. If you're in my room at Clubhouse, you are a spontaneous ad. It may look like I'm the only one who's talking, but I'm not. I'm on the radio. I brought two of the more fascinating people I've met on Clubhouse right out of the dark. I've got Mayan Gordon and I've got Samantha Roberts. Mayan has got 2 million followers on TikTok, and she's just this together 29-year-old who's like, yeah, of course I'm popular. I did a little video. I did all this and like fun to listen to. And then Samantha talks about being mute for 12 years. Samantha, we're in the middle of your segment. I am on live radio, so we do get interrupted and we do have commercials. You were talking about being mute. You physically couldn't speak for that long?
For 2 years, I didn't speak out of just really, I would say depression, right? Not advocating for myself, feeling like I was helpless, feeling that I didn't have the bandwidth to really carry on, to do much. I spent 90% of my time in bed. So it wasn't, I was alone and I didn't have a lot around me. Yeah.
Now, one of the things, if you're looking at us live on my Facebook fan page, you can also see Steve Samblis. Steve is the publisher of the One Habit book series. I am now within 4 months on my 3rd published book. One of them, the first one called One Habit for Entrepreneurial Success, is the largest book on the subject ever printed, 820 pages. Oh, wait, did I say I've done 3 books since September of 2020? Guys, Unfortunately, I'm one person that you can't say, oh, wasn't COVID a bad year? Let me tell you something. 2020 was the most fascinating, short of giving birth to my babies, year of my life. I reignited everything, and we've created miracles. So if you want to create miracles and up level, my thought is just stay connected to us, because we're on a ship that's going forward. However, not everybody has all the tools. That was the thing I was missing. So, Steve, as I'm listening to Samantha say that, I heard a lot of depression on Clubhouse, how a lot of successful people, how they overcame it, what they did. And maybe if there's a book series called One Habit for Overcoming Depression to Lead Your Most Amazing Life, we might need to do that.
I think,
yes?
yeah, we need to tell those stories. We want to do more books in One Habit that actually save people. You know, you and I talked about this. That's why, you know, we got One Habit to Beat Alcoholism, One Habit to Beat Bullying. There's a couple key things that really are affecting huge amounts of people. And the goal is in all these books is that what people need to understand is people submit chapters. And in the chapter, they submit a chapter on, well, as an example, Samantha, you'd have to dig in and decide what was the one habit that you were able to pull out of you that you did every day that got you out of this depression state and allowed you to be a fully functioning person to your own happiness. And by the way, that means a lot of things. You know, I'm an extreme introvert, believe it or not, but I'm on TV all the time. I'm doing radio. I think Forbes is the same way as well. I think a lot of us are, but we do things to get out of there to reach our bliss. And so this would be a book, as an example, that you'd be great in, and you'd have to dig in and say, okay, of all the things that I did in my life, what was the one habit that served me the greatest, that saved me from this space? And then number two, the second most important thing in our books.
Hey, no, actually, I'm going to ask her that question. I'm going to actually put you on the spot right now.
Okay, yeah, dig in.
We have a lot of Clubhouse listeners. I've got 2 million fans on Facebook, and this will be heard for the rest of eternity. You did something amazing, which is why I invited you today.
Incredible.
What's one of those habits?
One of the biggest things for me is I really thought internally, who can I pull something out of today? Who can I breathe into? Because when you're mute and nonverbal for such a long period of time, while working in corporate America in high stress, direct to senior leadership environment, you really find the ability to see through the unspoken, right? And one of the greatest things that I learned, one of the greatest lessons I acquired during my time was to be able to read people, right? Read them at their core value and read them. What mask have they worn to survive versus who are they at the core? Wow. And that was my special gift that I was given through my time of.
So let me ask you another question. Did you work in corporate? Did you tell them that you couldn't speak, that you were hired being mute?
It's not that I couldn't speak. Again, it was an internal choice that was perpetuated after my 2 years of complete nonverbal, that if I spoke for more than 30 minutes, I would lose my voice. So I created a corporate environment for myself as a senior analyst where it was heavily in data, heavily in senior leadership, curt comment, very tight conversations where I didn't need to speak. I did not need to speak. My data analytics, my data visualization, my strategies spoke for themselves. I created an environment for myself. I created friendships for myself that were primarily nonverbal as well.
Well, it's kind of funny because before Clubhouse, we were all technically non-verbally communicating with each. Wow,
yeah,
that was a
text
good moment.
messages, emails, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right, and it's funny because we talked to Glenn a little bit about, he sees Forbes everywhere. You're right. I feel like I have been nonverbal, and it's funny because Joshua said to me when he was criticizing my Clubhouse, he's like, "These aren't your friends. If they were your friends, you would have picked up the phone and called them a long time ago."
That's so interesting.
It's a funny thing. There's a different reason when you call someone on the phone, although I do make a habit of this. This is a great one of my habits. Reach out to people when you don't need them, so they're there when you do. That's my one habit.
That is so strong.
This is why we do these one habit books, right? I know.
That's so strong.
I got that from a guy who was very high level in the fundraising space. He would sit on the phone with an old style Rolodex all the time. Like, what are you doing? He's like, baby, you call them, you reach out, you say hi, connect on birthdays, because you don't need them. But when I say, hey, you want to invest in this, you want to do this, they're more likely to say yes, because most people are only ever hit on when you want something from them.
Always need. But by the way, let's make sure we lock into that. Everybody listening needs to take 5 people a day that they don't need anything from and just contact them and say, hey, I've been thinking about you. How's it going? pick up the phone and call them. By the way, you could always text them too, but at least reach out and connect, right? And just let's all do that. Let's all agree to do that right now. And I think that will change all of our lives. Because by the way, just one habit could change your life forever. Just one simple one.
I'm going to go one step further. Have coffee with them over Zoom. I don't need to travel now. I literally have called my friends. I had a dinner party on Zoom. Because Steve, we don't have to fly to see each other. Go make dinner. We'll make the same dinner for each other, or grab a cup of coffee. Say, hey, I've got 15 minutes. I'm going to Zoom with you, and we're going to literally look like we're sitting. In fact, you can even get the same environment. I know this sounds really crazy. When I did my beautiful show, my award show this year, I gave everyone their Zoom background, so we all looked like we were in the same room. So maybe find your great little coffee shop. Say, hey, here's your background. Grab a cup of coffee. 15 minutes, and we're doing it. That's a very innovative idea.
But plus you sent everybody a box. So everybody had the same silverware, the same dishes, the same glasses, I still have stars all over my condo from when I opened the box. It was filled with confetti and stars.
I said, we're going to do a physical gift box, you guys, because I think, Samantha, this is why I keep asking you these questions, because it's how do you get out of a hole that you yourself have dug? That's called depression. That's called frustration. That's called procrastination. And so it's sometimes, how do you flip the switch? Actually, I think that's a great name for a room. What I did to flip my switch.
I like that.
Mayan, what's the thing that flipped your switch to take you in a different direction?
Yeah, for me, it was thinking about what is something that I can do to just impact one person today who isn't even expecting it. What can I do to help them get through their struggle that they're facing? And tying that into kind of the reaching out to 5 people a day, not only does that help you in terms of building that network and those relationships, but it feels so good. Like when I was kind of in my really depressed place, I was in a gas explosion in my house, and then I ended up being homeless for a while. And really the only thing that got me through was like the postings I would do on Instagram, kind of sharing my struggles and how I would get through that. And people responding back saying, wow, thank you so much for sharing this. This helped me get through my struggle that I'm facing right now. And nothing else that happened mattered to be able to make my day bad if I had that. A fire would happen, or a flood, or, all the million things that can happen as a business owner. And it wouldn't matter as long as I had really truly impacted someone that day.
I love that. Hey guys, we've got 4 minutes left on my radio show. This went extremely too fast. Samantha, I did bring you on the show to talk about what you're up to today and how we can support you, or what you are looking for.
Yeah, I convicted myself to support at least 100 voices to really tell their story, allow me to hold space for them. I started hosting one-day summits, and I launched my podcast, Storytelling by the Numbers. And again, that's that play on corporate America analytics, not needing to use my voice in that play. So Storytelling by the Numbers podcast. And I really want to interview as many powerful voices as possible, because really with the advent of Clubhouse, I think what we're seeing, and you touched on it, Forbes, that transparency and vulnerability, showing your true core, is what this platform is craving. It's not about having the mask and the perfection. It's really about tearing down the walls. And so I'm really looking to host some powerful rooms, because I think storytelling is important right now. And I think impact storytelling is the wave of the future. And I think that's what I was brought here for.
I agree. As we're winding down, how do people find you?
On Clubhouse, it's at Sam Roberts, and it's storytellingbythenumbers.com.
The beautiful part about Clubhouse is we have very long, involved profiles that we can post anything. So it's Samantha Roberts, R-O-B-E, like Julia Roberts, only she is so much cuter. Samantha Roberts, find her. Miss Mayan Gordon, how do we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn is one of the best places to connect with me if you just search my name. I'm also on Instagram at Mayan Gordon Media, on Clubhouse at Mayan Gordon.
Now, give me one inspirational thing that we should all be thinking about from you, my darling, this week.
Yeah, think about how you can make the world a better place by doing something so small and simple, but something that has a wide or a long-lasting ripple effect. I think a lot of times we think that we need to move mountains to change the world, but it can start from one little simple thing, whether that's a habit or whether it's spontaneous. Starts out usually as spontaneous, but if you can build those things into habits, you're going to have an amazing day, an amazing life.
Steve, you own it. One Habit book series. Bring it home for me, baby. I've got 90 seconds.
Well, first of all, we are launching Friday, January 22nd, One Habit to Thrive in a Post-COVID World. It's going to be on Facebook Live. We're going to do an 8-hour Facebook Live. We're going to be dead when we're done with it because it's going to be so exciting and so much energy. You can go to onehabit.com, learn more about what we're doing. And we've got a ton of great books we're creating. We're looking for brilliant minds to be in our books, by the way, guys. So go to the site, click on the contribute button, and tell us what you'd like to be, what you'd like to do with us, what books you'd like to contribute to us or with us.
It is fun. It is a family. We literally have 100.
And a great group.
It is a great group. Steve, I love you. I've run out of time completely. You'll mostly find me on Clubhouse. Apparently, just like Glenn said, type the word Forbes, it'll be me. All right, you guys, to all my friends and family around the world for Voice America, certainly my staff that keeps us going live, I'm going to send you a big heartfelt. And Steve, you know what? To Voice America, let's send these guys a book as a thank you.
Done.
Yeah.
Done deal.
We'll
I'll
see
do it when
you
we get off the
same
phone.
time next week right here live on Voice America Influencer Channel. I'm Forbes Riley. Bye. Whew. I know, right?
All clear.
That was crazy. All right, you guys. So let me jump from platform to platform. That is actually a live produced show. It airs about 5 times a week. They replay us a lot with 50,000 plus downloads. But right now, I'm actually going to jump for real into my Clubhouse. I've never done this before. I'm not sure how this is going down. Glenn, have you finished eating?
I have, and I am just fascinated at the fact that you're hopping from one diving board to the next. It's beautiful.
I am loving life. Glenn, will you just share real quick who you are?
Well, today I'm a man who's sitting around being grateful, and that's how I spend the vast majority of my time. I'm blessed to not only do what I love for a living, but only do what I love for a living and have for a very long time. I make my living as a speaker, a teacher, and an actor. And I say actor in the third position, even though it's been my life for 50 years. My passion is in coaching and speaking. And because COVID has shut down the stages, Clubhouse is such a beautiful platform to be able to reach the masses and connect. I think we've all felt starved for connection, but like you, Forbes, I had a remarkable 2020. And I think 2020 was a year that revealed our entrepreneurial mindset and what's really going on underneath. It said, hey, baby, I know you may have had other plans, but those plans aren't happening. What are you made of, and how able are you to redirect the trajectory of your life? So we took in-person coaching and turned it into online coaching. And if you had asked me a year ago, not only if I would be teaching online this year, but if you said ever, I would have said a resounding no, because I had no interest. And yet, with necessity being the mother of invention, here we are online, and I love it. I love that it's international and it's beautiful.
All right.
And I get to come hang with my buddies like you.
And well, so here's the crazy thing. You know, he's playing this down. And as a coach queen who's grossed a little over $2 billion on infomercials, playing small doesn't serve anybody. Glenn and I both did the TV series 24. I was only on season 3. He played Secret Service agent Aaron Pierce. He was all over the place. That's a pretty big deal. But we're also talking Transformers, Godzilla, Black Hawk Down. I mean, I can go down the list. You're like, wait, this is not like an acting teacher in Dallas, Texas. This is the guy that you see in X-Men, in Moneyball, in Parkland, in Aftermath. I mean, trust me, dude. You did Star Trek, okay? The Next Generation, one of my all-time favorites. You've been all over TV, from X-Files to NCIS to Monk. No, but you don't understand. He is not old enough to have done all the things he's done. I don't know how he did it.
It's interesting. I didn't become a person of significance until I did the Call of Duty games and played Overlord, and then I became someone to my own son.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I did this. Well, it's funny. I did Beetleborgs many years ago, and my entire episode, I'm the guest star, is with all of these like anime animals. Like I get held captive in an elevator, and you're right. All of a sudden, my kids and everyone in school is like, "Oh, she's the star of Beetleborgs." I'm like, "Gee, that's a claim to fame I wasn't expecting."
I love it. What was your voice for that?
No, this is real. I was an actual, they were literally, do you remember kind of the, what are the kids who fought? The whole Hayam, it's a TV series. It's actually real, but they're all in costume. So how do I explain this? So yeah, no, there was no voice. I was me. My character was Iris McCase. Iris is her for Iris McCase. Whatever.
Iris McCase.
Yes. Journalist who wore a very short skirt and a very tight outfit for that kind of a kid thing. I know. But hey, when I got literally kidnapped by a flying creature. This is like the highlight of my life on some level, all kidding aside.
Iris McCase and her best friend, Ben Dover.
All right. Okay, that was the nighttime version of Beetleborgs After Dark. Okay, I had a really weird thought though. Because I tend to talk about subjects that are sometimes taboo, and I'm wondering if we do a Clubhouse After Dark.
I think you and I, if I can speak right to the point, I think Forbes and Glenn do a flip the switch.
Okay, done.
Exactly what you mentioned.
Well,
and I just want to say the earliest I could do it would be immediately. I can't do it until then.
You know what, dude? I love it. Okay, so you know what's so funny? Okay, guys, by the way, thinking of flipping the switch, thank you for all of you who are in this room. I actually am going to flip a switch. I'm invited into the room with Grant Cardone and Kevin Harrington, something about pitching, and they've asked me to make time available. So that's part of today. But my today reads like I don't know that I ever planned it. From 4 to 7, I teach my high-level coaching called OPP, how to leverage other people's platforms. And, to my two guests who are here, and even you, Glenn, one of the things that's important when you are asked to be on other people's platforms is that you bring your branding with you, that you can say pretty quickly, hey, everybody, my name is Forbes Riley. I'm known as the Queen of Pitch. I've specialized in infomercials and home shopping. Great. Now you know who I am. If you want to do 1 or 2 lines of credibility, great. And then what you're about and what you're doing now, my mission is. If you can answer those things quickly, people will like you more, especially in the Clubhouse environment. The other thing is when you're asked to ask a question, moderators always say this and no one ever listens. Moderators say, hey, start with my question is. Can I give you a little insight? Do what they say, but don't do what they say. So you might want to say, all right, everybody, hey, my question is, and as somebody who spent all this time on television being an infomercial host, oh, you sneak it in, but you do what they say. It's weirdly disrespectful to go, oh, wait, I'm not going to say that. Let me tell you who I am first. And everybody groans in the room, even if you can't hear them. And so as you want to up-level your connections with people, be that respectful. But so OPP, and by the way, it's a higher level training. I'm not pitching it here. What I am pitching for all of you guys, you want to work with me one-on-one for free. You're a Clubhouse member. Come this Sunday to www.askforbesriley. That is my pitch training class. That's my master level. By the way, in the real world, I only charge $19 for it. But I also do something because I'm about getting people to make money. I created an affiliate program where, even if you came for free, next week, if you loved it, and why wouldn't you? Seriously, 2 hours hanging with me. The $19 that your friend pays, you're going to get 100% of that. Well, that's interesting. Do that 100 times and you got $2,000 in your pocket. But then the crazy thing about the internet and why I'm loving technology is that $19 person is definitely going to, 50% of them say, hey, I would like to train with that girl. I teach a 3-week training called Media Mastery. You'll get a couple $100 for that. If they keep going in my world, in my system, I keep sending you checks. Just get this clear. Last week, I wrote $5,000 worth of affiliate checks. Part of me was like, oh, wow, really? And my daughter was like, Mom, don't even look at it because you're going to want to keep the money. I know you. I'm like, no, I got it. I didn't know. Because, well, none of these people work for me. They work with me. I am so free, and write that down. Come on Sunday and I will give you the link. You sign up for free because here's the limiting belief that I can do something about in today's world. I got a woman who started working with me. She's from Russia, right? Just today. She was talking about side hustles and said, oh, but you need money to make money. I was like, that's the same stupid phrase that money doesn't grow on trees. Newsflash, before Bitcoin, it did grow on trees, was made out of paper. So stop listening to what other small-minded people say to you. I said to her, look, you don't need an investment. Come for free to my training. Let me teach you a little bit of how to pitch. Let me show you how to make $19 that will turn into $500 or $600 if you do a little bit of work with no financial investment. Oh my gosh, she had never heard of that concept before. There are a lot of things out here, guys, that you've never heard before from people that you've never heard before, because I was only given 140 characters to do a tweet. Or I'm on Facebook, or I'm on Instagram, where you only want to look at you want to look at somebody's gorgeous body. Nice platform, never did much for me. You're telling me my videos can be 1 minute? Come on. It takes me a half hour to do an infomercial. One of my 30-minute infomercials grossed $1 billion. So I need 30 minutes. So right now I was going, and then YouTube is all about video, not much interaction. Well, maybe put it all together. But I'll tell you what I preached about today. Did I say preach? Not funny. You know what, Steve? You did,
and it was beautifully used.
I'll tell you what, I bought a site called Church of the Fit. And I was talking about financially fit, emotionally fit, spiritually fit, how it all fits together. I don't want to offend people. So they were kind of, well, are you doing gospel stuff? And I'm like, well, I do a whole lot of hallelujahs. And I'll tell you what, when we get going, when we get motivated, it is over the top. Gospel for real life? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see where that goes. All right, Princeton, you've been nice enough to hang out real quick before I jump on and flip to this other room. Is that even polite? It says leave quietly. I think they made that button for me.
I don't think it's possible for you to do, quite frankly, but okay.
I've had, again, may you all have the kind of joy that Glenn is experiencing by being able to do a career that he loves. I know this man. And you know what's funny about Glenn? Doesn't look like a typical movie star, does he? Danny DeVito doesn't look like a typical movie star. Neither does Dustin Hoffman or Barbara. None of them. When I got to Hollywood, Glenn, they said, oh, you're not blonde enough and your tits aren't big enough. And I'm like, well, but wait a second. I don't. What does that even mean? I want to be like Jane Fonda or Audrey Hepburn. That was never my style. But I was told what I couldn't do by other people. Glenn, did you experience that?
Well, guess what? People told Spud Webb he couldn't play in the NBA.
I wasn't Tom Brady the last draft pick for the football league draft thing?
I don't know about Tom Brady, his draft pick number, but I do know
199. I do know.
Yeah.
199.
Yes, Forbes. You've got Jim Abbott, who was not only a professional baseball player in the major leagues, he was a pitcher. Let me say that again. He was a pitcher with one hand.
Oh,
Yep. I remember him. Used to put the glove under his arm.
Really?
Yes, he put the glove under his arm. He threw the ball with the hand he had, let go of it, grabbed the glove and put it on, and he did it on every friggin' pitch. And they said, step up to the plate, sir. We would like to sign you with the California Angels. So in truth, they were signing two things. They were signing his talent, and more importantly, they were signing his consciousness.
Yeah, his heart.
Wait, we made the movie about this yet? Because I missed that one. I would only know if I saw the movie.
I don't know. I mean, these champions are all around us. Tom Dempsey set the record for the longest kick in the NFL that held for like 40 years, and he kicked the ball with half of a foot. And
the square shoe on. I remember that. Yes.
That's correct.
Hey, by the way, I want to say something too. When you look at Glenn as an actor and you see him in his roles, he reminds me of Bryan Cranston, because I've never looked at Bryan Cranston in a movie and said, that's Bryan Cranston. When you look at Glenn in the Transformers movie or Star Trek or whatever it might be, you see the character in him. And I think that's where true greatness comes from. If you Forbes or you Glenn were the typical Hollywood movie star types, you would have your short runs, but you wouldn't have the longevity that you do. I mean, Glenn's got 6 movies in post-production right now. Forbes is still at it every single day, killing it to $2.5 billion.
Don't kid yourself.
But my point is, there's something. Yeah. My point is, there's something about that. There's something about that prototype, not stepping outside the prototypical and being somebody with that passion comes through. And once again, watch one of Glenn's movies. You see the character clearly. That's why he gets hired all the time, because he's great at that.
Yeah, I take that as a huge compliment. And I just want to tell you, if you want to track success, and whether it's Forbes, whether it's me, whoever it is, look for sustainability. Look if they've been able to not only get somewhere, but have they been able to stay there for long periods of time? If the answer is yes, they are using sustainable strategies.
Yeah, I adore you. Hey, you know what? I probably should close out one of my mediums. People have to go back. So mine, you got to go
Flip like
back.
two coins.
Thank you so much for jumping in here today. I adore you. Samantha, is there anything, went so fast today. Is there anything that you didn't get to say as my guest that you wanted to? Because we're still live on everything.
I truly want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my voice and share my story. I know I have a large impact coming out of me, just boiling out of me in the next few months. And I just cannot wait to see how we really grow this movement together. You know, what you're doing with your book series is exactly what I started doing with my summit series, by hosting all the voices that I've hosted already. And it's been 20-minute chapter-sized stories. So I've already got a couple dozen in the works. And it's beautiful how synergistic our connection has been, because what you've done is exactly what I had started creating with the entrepreneurs in my circle. So I would love to see how we can collaborate.
I would be happy to. Always think about repurposing too. The podcast that you've got can turn into a book series, but you also have connections to the movie world. Glenn is very prolific. I just did another film called A Taste of Romance in Kansas City. I don't do a lot of movies anymore, but the crazy thing about this is 30 years ago, God, I don't know how old I am. I sat down during a period of my life and I wrote 5 screenplays, real full length, fully formatted, 100 to 200 pages screenplays. And I didn't do much with them because while I could get out there and perform and I didn't mind being rejected as an actress, I couldn't in my heart have my writing rejected. So they went to a couple of people. That was great. I never did much more. Well, I sent one of them a couple months ago to the producing team of the film I just did. 2 nights ago, they called and said, "We love this." And I had a moment of like, and they have a very unique ability to do lower budget films that look really high budget because they own all of their equipment. And he's like, "We could make this." So he said, "But you probably want to have a bigger production." I'm like, no, you don't understand. If it gets made. So Samantha, you are sitting on a story about a young girl who ended up being mute for whatever reason in an accident, who then ventured into the corporate world, who figured out how to walk again and talk again and move forward. There's a little movie called Joy. Joy is with Jennifer Lawrence, but it's about my life. Oh, it's not. It was Joy Mangano, but it's the same life. She grew up in Long Island with a mom who wore muumuus, who liked to watch All My Children. I'm looking at this film, and the first few frames, I'm thinking, this is what? Then she goes on to home shopping with a crazy little invention called a steam mop, right? I took a crazy invention called a SpinGYM, and I've sold 2.5, literally hundreds, so much it's ridiculous. I didn't think my story was worth telling. I watched her at the freaking Academy Awards, and the woman playing the lead in her movie got a Golden Globe. Okay, so Lesson learned. Step back, stop playing small. I want to see the outline for a screenplay, because if it's good between Glenn and myself and a lot of people here, we've got resources. That's an Academy Award winning character for a woman. Yes, Glenn?
Indeed.
You should see her face.
Great
right
movies.
now.
Great. By the way, great movies, by the way, are about great characters. It's not the script first. If you have amazing characters, the words will come. The movies can be incredible if you care about them. And Sam is an individual I think people would immediately are drawn to, would immediately care about her story. And honestly, I think it's a mistake to have a story in you like that you do not share on the widest platforms possible. We will gladly publish your book, by the way. I'll take your story on and turn it into a best-selling book.
All right. So next up,
but definitely
I'm not
movie.
going to let you go. This is part of my genius. Gentleman jumped on the other day, and he teaches chess. And I said, "Dude, here's your book," because he teaches chess as a metaphor. I said, "Do you have a book?" He's like, "No." I said, "Let me give you the book outline, and then I'm going to write the forward for you." Steve, I hadn't told you about this. I said, chess is a metaphor for life. Number 1, Queen's Gambit is crushing it on Netflix.
Great TV series. Short series.
But get this. What about a book called Chess? How to strategically up-level your life one move at a time. Written by the Queen. Hello, the Queen is a character on the chessboard that can move any different direction, and the man, the king, can only go one step at a time. Hello. I just love the concept so much. So it's about a team. It's about strategy. This chess book, Steve, I'm like, this is it. Now,
by the way, the answer is yes. By the way, the answer is yes.
Right?
Whenever Forbes calls me up and she's about to say, "Hey, Steve, we've got a red carpet in 3 minutes that my person fell out of. It's going to be 8 hours." And before she even gets it all, I go, yes, just give me the link.
I need
It's always
questions.
yes to Forbes.
All right, so wait, I got one more. So Mayan Gordon doesn't realize that she's got a movie in her. Check this out. Ready, go. She is she's a glass blower. She's very successful in that. She's still young, very beautiful. We need young, beautiful female leading characters in movies. She does a video, which I haven't even seen, but I'm imagining, about glass blowers doing this life-size glass turtle, right? Well, she films it, puts it on TikTok, and it goes viral. She has 2 million followers on this platform. I said, why did that happen? She said, because they thought we were killing, like really incinerating a real turtle. Hello? So, Mayan, what do you think about creating a film about what you do?
Oh yeah, I've thought about that for a long time. I've got a really interesting story that I think relates to a lot of people having gone, from homeless to homeowner, starting up different businesses, struggles with depression, and just not loving myself to the full amount that we all know we have that power to love ourselves. And so I'm so about everything in this conversation. Samantha, I'd love to, be a guest on your podcast. I love the energy in this room. And I think that together we can all work to create some amazing things.
And by the way, I forgot that moment where she blew herself up and ended up homeless. I'm sorry, that's a great little moment.
Were you blowing glass when that happened? Is that what happened?
No, actually, so there's some fun drug use in my story. So we were making concentrated THC back when people discovered this was a thing. In butane we were doing it outside, but we left the door to our house open. And so over time, butane just slowly started to fill up on the floor of our kitchen. And one day while we were cooking, the spark from the refrigerator ignited everything. And it was just this incredibly fast gas explosion where me and my husband were both burned to different degrees and, spent a little bit of time in the hospital, came back, had to fix all these damages to the house and decide what to do next.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, that's a nice moment in the film. I know, crazy, right? And I'll tell you something else. I had a similar experience. I don't smell. I had my nose broken a few times. I came home in my 20s to a railroad apartment in New York City. And I had called my parents like I did always, both my mom and dad on the phone at the same time. Academy Awards night. It's my favorite night of the year. I just wanted to be a TV star and I just won one of those awards or a movie star. I go in, do something half hour. I put a frozen chicken breast into the oven, right? Turn the light on. Come back a half hour later, it's still freezing cold. I thought, oh man, I forgot to light the pilot. Bent down after a half hour of gas and went boom, blew myself across the room. I got up. My right hand, everything's gone. I don't realize how bad I look. I call my parents on the phone shaking, going, I'm in trouble. My roommate opens the door and she's like, oh my God, there was an explosion in the building. And you know that scene where there's like smoke coming out from, I'm like, it was me. You end up, but this funny thing, guys, life happens for you, not to you. Go to the hospital, they fix you up, they do everything. I'm sitting in my room. It's funny about being mute for a while, for 2 weeks, and someone had given me the weirdest little dime store novel called Anvil of the Heart. It's a book about a guy in the future it's too weird for him and his wife is on drugs and his kids are not even real and how he shows up and survives anyway because he finds a pair of sneakers in the 25th century. 2 weeks later, Glenn, I hope this inspires you. My agent calls. I have an audition for a lead in a movie. I have burnt hair, no eyelashes, marks on my face, and my right hand is scarred beyond, I can't even see it. And I said yes. The book inspired me to say yes. I had no friends there, Samantha, to ask. It was like this little angel on my shoulder. We talk about flipping the switch. I went to the makeup store for the first time, got false eyelashes, heavy base, a short skirt, and I was never dressed like this before. I went to the audition. I stick my hand out. The director shakes my right hand, and I'm now in so much pain, I can hardly breathe. I do the audition. He looks at me and says, oh my God, you've got a callback. Part of me goes home going, okay. A couple of days later, I show up. Now, this is for the lead in a feature film. The room is packed with actresses that I recognize, and they're all chit-chatting and thinking, we're nervous about this. And I'm thinking, nervous? Stop playing. Are you kidding me? I almost died 2 weeks ago, died. I have eyesight. I booked the movie. It's called Underground. And actually, here's a crazy little caveat story to that. It was a non-union movie at the time. Forgive me for this. And I had to change. I wanted to do it. I didn't even know it was non-union at the time. It still paid really well. It's a real feature film, Underground Terror. It's on IMDb, but I couldn't use my name. And I remember I was out of my head back then. I might not make the same choices, but I had to create a new name. My dad's name is Barry. My mom's name is Jackie. My sister's is Georgine, and my brother-in-law is Danny. I became BJ Jordan. The IMDb says BJ Jordan is the name. I didn't know what a BJ was. And there's a reason that my character went a little viral. I know. Things I've learned in life.
Oy vey.
On that note, so Mayan, I know you need to go. Samantha, I honor you and bless you. Thank you so much. I do think there's a movie here. You're in the right place. Everybody who's listening to this in Clubhouse, you are listening to an extension of my radio show that is being broadcast on Facebook. I probably have to take it down on Facebook because we're not supposed to record anything. Mostly it's my voice. And I'll honor all the platforms, but we did something very experiential. Last minute, there's about 100 people in the room or close. Maybe I can add, maybe there's 6, but they look good. I'm going to let you ladies go. I didn't mean to hold you this long. I'm going to keep that line open. I am going to invite Princeton, who I honored. And thank you, Steve. Just before you go, bye, Maya. Thank you. Steve is my publisher for the One Habit book. If you go to onehabit.com/home office, that's the 3rd book in a series. We've already done and published 2 books since September. The first one has 820 pages to it. It's the largest book on entrepreneurial habits ever. We have a way for people to get involved. I'm not pitching this at all. Just go and see how this man architected the fact that you can have a chapter in a best-selling book in 40 minutes. I know there's still a credibility factor to books. And if you can say best-selling author, it's crazy. So Steve, I'll give you the floor for a minute, and then I'm going to jump into Clubhouse.
Yeah, so really quick, the next book that we're doing together, Forbes, is One Habit for Thriving Home Office. And that's for anyone that works from home, that was actually either forced working from home or always has working from home. That's going to offer a habit that's really changed their world, changed their life to make working at home a thriving business. This Friday, January 22nd, from I think it's 9:05 to 6:05, we're doing a Facebook Live for the launch of One Habit to Thrive in a Post-COVID World. That Forbes and I came up with the idea on the 30th of December. And before you knew it, on the 18th of, on the 15th of January, people had books in their hands all over the world. A remarkable feat that no one can do. So you guys got to tune in on Friday for sure.
So if you can see it, actually, if you go to Facebook, you can see it. One Habit to Pivot Your Life in a Post-COVID World. There are 100 authors in this book. We put it together in 24 hours and published the book in 18 days. Yeah, I've never heard of people. That's called speed to market. That means if you've got a thought, an idea, you want to become a best-selling author, and it's not thousands of dollars, it's a couple of $100. I mean, it is the best investment I think you'll ever make, Steve. I still can't actually believe that you can get it done.
So here's the thing, to be a best-selling author opens doors. When you are a consultant and there's another consultant next to you and you're going after a client, if you can say, by the way, I'm an international best-selling author, my book was a bestseller in Mexico, Canada, the US, the UK. Other people can't say that. And our books, by the way, we're not giving them away. We're not selling them for $1.99. Our books are the most expensive books in our categories on Amazon, and they sell more than anyone else.
And we're still number one.
And we're still number one across all these continents. It's absolutely incredible. So if you guys go to onehabit.com or go to the One Habit fan page on Facebook, you'll be able to watch the live. And on Friday, what we do is we interview about half of the authors. We actually have 103 now, Forbes. We had some more come in. We interview about half of the authors, and we don't talk about what's in the book themselves, but you learn about who these people are, because that's what's compelling. The authors, the contributors to our books, are such interesting people. They really have done stuff with their life that are complete game changers, and we're going to learn a little bit about who they are and maybe little tips on some habits that you can apply into your life. The series is growing. Forbes and I have got another 15 books in the funnel right now that are being worked on. We're bringing other co-authors to expand this. Something that just happened last night, we're actually doing a big contest for high school students in the UK to offer scholarships and put them all these students into one book with a contest across the UK. Ellen's actually doing with us. He just came up with the idea and I said immediately yes. I thought it was a great idea. He's bringing in big sponsors for it. And so this is just becoming something bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, so to all my friends and fans, right? And by the way, you should jump into Clubhouse. We should turn off all the other mediums. And I see a lot of my friends down there. What this gives you guys access to is if you said to me, Forbes, I want to be in one of your books. It's somewhere between $200 and $400. And we do sell books and you get royalties from that. But I've also had a couple of the speakers from our books pop on in my room. But imagine now you can become a best-selling author. this is not a joke. We don't give these books away. Like Steve said, they're the most expensive books on Amazon. But we've got an army of dedicated people and a brand. I'm going to say it again, and please don't get mad at me, Mark Victor Hansen. I love you, your dear friend. But Chicken Soup for the Soul, when you think about it, silly title, right? Billion-dollar brand. I like One Habit. I think that's what's bigger than a billion. Oh, $2 billion. All right. You know what? I'm going to send you here. I do want to honor Princeton. I need you to jump up and say hi to everybody here in Clubhouse and tell me what your experience has been today listening to us.
Hey, how are you, Forbes? I appreciate you giving me some time on your stage. As always, I love your voice. I love your message. And you just come with so much spunk. It inspires me to listen to you and to all your guests. And Glenn, also, man, hearing your voice, you have such an amazing voice. Such an amazing voice. But I'm just grateful to be here and to be a part of your community and just to be a part of the light that you're shining for. Thanks for having me.
You are very, very welcome. This is a very exciting thing. I love hearing you as well. I've been following everybody. And by the way, if you're just popping in right now, I did pull a couple of people up to be moderators and speakers. I wasn't planning on doing this page. If you've just popped on, I do a national radio show every Wednesday from 2 to 3. And last night I heard somebody, such a powerful story that I changed my guest schedule, invited her on. She's actually listening at the moment and said, hey, you know what? We're on the radio. What if I just popped on and created a room spontaneously? We don't even have a title for the room. Thank you for being part of this. We're not being very formal. In a minute, I will be popping over in a kind of a hot minute. Make sure you guys mute. I'll be popping over to a pitch room with Grant Cardone and Kevin Harrington. And since I'm there, if you're a friend and you're a fan and I get to pull you up, I'm always happy to do that. I guess doing one solid. So speaking of one solid, Mr. Tony Rodriguez, Tony, the guy who actually invited me to the whole platform, the cute man in the middle hanging on to the not even cuter. Tony's not cute. Tony's just big. Tony Robbins. Mr. Tony, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, Forbes. You know I love you and I follow you anywhere. And as Princeton said, I love listening to you and your voice as well. Princeton, you're pretty good yourself. And this is great because I get to get my daily dose of caramel with Mr. The gentleman up in the top right-hand corner, Mr. Glenn Morshower. He has got the smoothest voice. I'm telling you, he's not just caramel, he's like salted caramel. So great to see you, Glenn. Great to see you, Princeton and Forbes. Always a pleasure. Listen, like I said, I'll follow you anywhere. I love you. I love your message. And by the way, I want to be in your next book. I'm just putting that out there. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Always happy to share the stage with you. I got so many other great people in here, friends of mine as well. Greg, Mr. Awesome himself, Chris. Yeah, I just love spending time with great people. We even have Scott up here. Man, I'll tell you, what a panel.
Yeah, I do know how to pull people up. You know, Glenn, if we had access to this when we were younger in terms of actors and being able to do our own PR, we could have built unbelievable platforms. I feel like I don't mind that I've got experience, but I hate being older some days. It's like, man, so if you're under the age of 58, count yourself incredibly blessed. I'm being a little facetious here. My daughter's 18, man, the whole world ahead of her. Take advantage of what's happening. You want to pivot fast. Please don't be Blockbuster. You imagine this company had a chance to buy Netflix and somebody in the company still going, yep. I need a VHS player. Anybody got a VHS player? I need an 8. I think that's how people went crazy in the 80s. They invested in 8 tracks. All right. So real quick, you just said something interesting, Tony. Steve's here. Guys, go. By
the way, let me just say, getting old is great. It's the aging that sucks.
Oh, well, let's not talk about what gravity does to the human boob. I'm sorry, I didn't even, I meant body, sorry. Yeah, see, if it's my room, I can say stuff that no one else can say.
Oh, hey, by the way, Forbes, anybody that wants to contribute to one of our books, if they would go to onehabit.com, the number onehabit.com, and click on the word contribute, and they can tell us who they are.
Actually, here's what I'm looking for right now. We do have a book. So we did our post-COVID book in 18 days. The next book applies to everybody in this room. The book, and just go to this. I want you to see the speed to market. It's called onehabit.com/home office. Okay. We're about ready to lock that book. I know we've got Mr. Awesome up here and I've got Sally and a couple other contributors. Guys, you go to this one page. Steve is brilliant. It's the reason he's my partner. I don't settle for anything less. You literally take 40 minutes out of your day. It's one habit that serves you for a home office, one habit that you want to see go away. You write it, you put your beautiful little bio there, you create a 1-sentence about One Habit. We give you a publicity piece with your picture. Steve, did you put the pictures up there the way we talked about? That new
Yeah, I'm
little
looking at
edition?
them right now. We can share them right now if you want me to.
Well, no, actually, these guys are on Clubhouse. And so
Oh,
here's the
okay.
thing. You can be a best-selling author because this is the second edition of this book. We're already there. I think it's a couple of $100s. The next book I'm thinking is I'm loving my Clubhouse family, and you guys are my late night, early morning, and 22 hours a day family. What if we did a book, and I'm open for suggestions on a title, One Habit for networking so your business grows, One Habit to blowing it up in club. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Let's create the ultimate title. Reach me out on social media, give me some ideas, and I'll tell you what, speed to market. Let's get Kevin Harrington or Grant Cardone to do the forward, whoever you guys nominate as the guy or girl we're looking for. 100 chapters. You're on Amazon in a month. Got it? Hey, Mr. Awesome.
Oh, and
Eric,
you're a best-selling author too.
yeah, you know what? If I could have done this a decade ago, 2 of my books took me 3 years each. I could have never lived long enough to get my message out. Mr. Awesome, Eric Swanson, will you jump in for a second? Say hi.
Yeah, what's up, Forbes? Good to see you. Good to see Glenn and Tony and everybody. This is like a reunion. I love it. A reunion of awesomeness. And Steve Samblis, rock and roll man, thanks for bringing the One Habit to life and to the world. So, Forbes, I got a suggestion. You ready?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Go.
Where'd you go? Here it is. So you remember the Doritos? I think it was the Doritos commercial. And Forbes, you're the expert on all of this. Remember the Doritos commercial where they're like, look, we're coming out with a new Dorito flavor. I think it was Doritos. It could have been
Contest.
But what was it? Was it?
It's contest. Yep.
Yeah. So we should open this up for the next, I don't know, 30 days. We take suggestions as to what the next One Habit book would be, and just open this up for like 1 million entries. And then let's say the winner gets, obviously in the book with all of us as well. And I love being in all these books, guys. I have not missed a book, and I'm super excited to be here. Super excited to support and share and play with you guys. You guys are awesome.
Well, that's interesting. Now, I don't know about 30 days because, we published our last book in 18 days from the time I opened my floodgates and said we want 100 authors only. So that's a good idea. The beautiful thing about Clubhouse is that you can change your profile at will and make it endless. I hope they keep that feature. So I'm going to post that. Steve and I will come up with this. And here's a couple of things. Now, this is how we did our event show, our award show, is that we had people contribute to the gift basket. So now think about this. We will put together a place that you can contribute to. What title do you think we should have for our next One Habit book? One Habit for what? Then I will say, look, it's one of the prizes. You get a guest spot on my radio show. That's a $2,500, offer. You get to be free in the book. And then what if we have 10, 20 people offer something also for free that the winner could in fact get?
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, I'll offer, a stage time, which I have a 2-year waiting list to get on my stages. There you go. There's a stage time on Habitude.
Boom. That's a good one. That's really good, Eric. Thank you.
That is it. Yeah. All right. That is so sweet. Hey, Ms. Isabella. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, I was going to say, by the way, what you're going to see about Forbes, myself, Eric as well, when we come up with these ideas, these just don't float away into the ether. In 3 days, this will be available for people to jump on and be a part of the contest. I mean, that's the bottom line. We do not waste ideas because the saddest thing in the world are these great, amazing ideas full of energy, full of amazement, full of future possibilities that people speak into reality and then just let fade away. We are not people that allow that to happen.
No, we aren't. This isn't awesome. This is a different way to do your life. Eric, thank you so much. Yes.
Ooh, I've got a suggestion of the first suggestion for
Go.
One Habit to the Rising Star.
You know what? Maybe. Somebody's got weird feedback. Sorry. Steve, you need to mute, my friend. All right. Actually, One Habit. You know what? It's got to be a little more specific. Hey, because I do have to jump. I'm teaching a class in 15 minutes and I haven't eaten today. Ms. Isabella, yes, go.
You said about being able to show the picture. If you pull to refresh, you swipe down on your screen and you look at my icon where I'm talking, and you switch to, and you can click and you can see the One Habit for home office. So I don't know if everybody knows that they can do this, that they can change their profile pic frequently, can have a little gallery ready to go. And as you're talking, you can say pull to refresh and you can change the pictures.
Hey, Darcy, you win. Guess what you just got yourself? Next week on my radio show, you're going to come on as a guest.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. If somebody can pop in and put my photo that fast and do that, I am all about rewards and compensation and excitement and elevation. Pop me into Instagram. If I can find you now, there's like 800 messages today. Yes, definitely DM me and let me get you next week. I got a great lineup and I'm going to pop you in. Okay. And thank you.
Thank you.
Really quick. Isabella, you were the first adopter into this crazy room that I just opened without even a name. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Isabella. I'm a money mentor. And honestly, I jumped into here as I've been on all different rooms with Forbes. And as you can just tell, she is incredible. And you guys got me when you and Glenn were speaking about how 2020 has been your most blessed year. I couldn't agree more. And I think more people need to hear that. So that was what got me to continue to stay up here and just loving how you're repurposing the platforms, giving everyone business insights. Like this is awesome. There's not even a name for this. And I just love how it's flowed.
Isn't that crazy? Isabella, thank you. Yes, I promise I'll be more formal, but maybe I'm the queen of spontaneous. It's how I take trips. It's how I travel around the world. A couple of weeks ago, I had someone reach out to me and say, hey, I'm doing a mastermind in Costa Rica. Well, all year long, I had been manifesting the idea of Costa Rica. Hadn't done anything about it, just manifested it, thought about it, talked about it. That's how I do everything. Dream it, believe it, and achieve it. Don't tell me you don't know how, because I don't really care. Do it anyway. And they called me, reached out. They're a beautiful couple. I said, yes. They said, we're having people flying from around the world in December. This was middle of November. And I said, awesome. A couple of days later, they're like, how come you haven't gotten back to us? I'm like, because it's December 2021. All right, guys, I don't like planning that. They're like, no, it's in 3 weeks. I'm like, but it's COVID. Can people go to Costa Rica? Sure enough, they got me an airline ticket. Next thing you know, I said, well, let's go for a couple of weeks. I've got a beautiful love of my life. He spent the year in bed and in a wheelchair. Let's go enjoy this. We get down there. I walk in. I don't know if you've seen the photos of the infinity pool that you walked in, 19-room mansion, full staff taking care of us, unbelievable people. And I closed business while I was there. That was more than I would have done if I was sat at home. Then Joshua says, well, what are we going to do for the rest of the time? Like it was Christmas. I said, well, I asked 3 people. You know where I ended up? I ended up at the base of a volcano in a hotel that has 27 thermal mineral spring hot tubs up a mountain. I didn't plan any of that. So sometimes while a lot of you schedule and plan out everything, you just kind of trust, go and enjoy. You'd be surprised what falls into your life like this group today. So thank you. Hey, Miss Sally.
Honestly, you couldn't have said that better, because as I jumped into the room, I was taking notes on how spontaneous you are being and how it's flowed, and obviously dropped blessing on so many different people as you've been in here. And I'm someone that's super duper structured in everything that I do. So you've been a true inspiration just from me listening into this.
And I love you for saying that. Thank you so much. Hey, real quick, I do want to go around my moderators really fast. Miss Sally Green, good friend, fan, and contributor. Say hi.
Hey, everyone. I've been a Forbes fan for forever, I think. And Steve Samblis fan since July when I met him. And this has just been some of the best times of my life, just being around these two and being a contributor to these books. It's really been a blessing. So I want to just thank them and thank everyone here. So
you know what, Sally, I have watched you physically. You have transformed. You are even more beautiful since I met you. Yes? Did you hear that? Oh, she left her mic open. I'm telling her how beautiful she is. And she wasn't. Ooh, she did. I'll tell you what, she embraced. We actually, guys, I'm doing something crazy on Zoom. And
that motivational minute was brought to you by Steve Samblis and Forbes Writers, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Swanson. I'll be Mr. Awesome for the room for a second.
I'm talking.
Anytime somebody leaves the mic on the couch on the stage, I pick it up.
You are so funny. I am sitting here talking to myself. You know what? Oh, dude. Love you. Sally, what I just said to nobody but myself was how beautiful you have transformed. You have, it's okay if I say, but you've lost weight, transformed. You look so beautiful. What shifted?
my mindset, totally. I decided in March, and when we were, I lost a huge client, and 60% of my income at the beginning of the year. And I went into a depression, and I had no idea what I was going to do as far as going forward. And, it's still a struggle even now, but I can see a future. So I started exercising, and I started watching what I was eating. I started listening a little bit more to Forbes, and we did this thing in July, and I've just been, I'm investing in me. I'm finally taking time to say, I'm worth it. And for years, it's just been me doing things for everybody else, taking care of everybody else, taking care of my family, taking care of my parents, taking care of everyone else, and neglecting myself. And finally, I think something in my head just shifted and said, it's time to start taking care of you. And so that's what I've been doing.
Hey.
And I got involved with Grant Cardone, and I signed up for his university, and I've been doing the books with Forbes. And I just have I have so many ideas now in my head that I don't even know where to go next.
You know what I'm loving? Guys, if you don't have a One Habit book in your profile photo, now you're feeling like you're not in the right club, huh? And Brenda, I love you for putting in our photo. I have never forgotten your permission moment, but going in order real quick so I can jump on. My class starts in 20 minutes. Mr. Christopher, who was a guest on my radio show last week, jump in and say hi.
What's up, Forbes? Riley, Glenn Morshower, Mr. Awesome, everybody else. Where's Princeton? Where'd Princeton go? Princeton was here a second ago. I just had the opportunity to talk to Princeton the other day, and man, is that cat cool as hell. What's up, Forbes? How you doing, darling?
You know what? Loving life, but I've had to stop eating, showering, and having any kind of social life because of Clubhouse.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's why they make cologne. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the No Excuses Coach, and I'm excited to be here. I see so many familiar faces here in Clubhouse. Tony Rodriguez. Where did Tony go?
Well, you know what they have? Well, here's the thing. We all have lives. I literally, this room's open for another 5 minutes. So drop it. Go.
Drop what?
Just a bomb. You. I tell people you are me. I'm with a beard. You are me with a beard.
Yeah, I know. I'm just excited to be alive. Honestly, I look at everything in life, especially with today and everything that's gone on in our country. I just look at this as an inspiring time for us to all stand together, unite, and continue giving and sharing of our gifts here on Clubhouse and here in every interaction that we have in life. I mean, this is such an exciting time for us to really turn the country around, turn ourselves around, turn each other around, and fight for what's right and what's fair, help lead the country for a better place for our kids, please, and thank you. And so, I'm just excited to inspire people, help people move along in their journey, remain kick-ass. I love your idea about the one habit. It reminds me of the other book that I had studied for a while, The One Thing or something like that. But the one habit, I love it. I would love to be included in that. But no, I'm just inspiring people just to think differently, just to act differently, to do differently, to live their legacy and fulfill a kick-ass life.
And I love you for that. Stay tuned. By the way, if you're any of the speakers that I brought up are friends of mine, what you want to do is you want to follow them like they did with me. What happens is if you like somebody and you click on them and you click on that little bell, when they're on, you click always, you'll know what they're up to. And I'll tell you what, success leaves clues. In an effort to move along real quick, Mr. Greg Walker, AKA the Big Dreamer.
What's up, everyone? Glenn, Tony, Mr. Awesome, Christopher. This was a powerful panel. Listen, Forbes, you know why you're the smartest woman? Because you chose a man from Ohio.
No! Where?
I live about 40 minutes from where Joshua's from, Washington, Cornell. So I'm a big fan of yours. But I want to tell everyone this. A man and a woman was once asked, someone was once asked, when does the man or woman dies? You know what they said? When their dreams die. I want to encourage each and every one of you, if you want to become an author, join Forbes. If you want to become an actor, get with Glenn. If you want to learn about personal development, get with Tony. If you want to learn how to get on stages, get with Mr. Awesome, Eric Swanson. But do it now. NOW, no opportunity wasted. If you don't do it today, I'm sure each and every one of us knows someone who passed away from COVID, from a heart attack or something last year. We all have the opportunity that a lot of people do not have the opportunity. I just left my 331st doctor appointment since my amputation in 2017. And my 2020 was blessed because I had 6 operations, and I'm blessed to have those operations because some people didn't make it. They didn't. So 2020, I call it 2021. WON, because I won. I hit the lottery every day. People talk about playing at 400 million lottery. If you woke up in America, in the United States, you hit the lottery every single day. So if no one's told you they loved you, know that you got a brother from another mother named Big Dreamer, Columbus, Ohio. He ain't got nothing but love for each and every one of you. And Forbes, I sent you a DM.
Greg, I love you, man. Thank you for being short, sweet, to the point, and making the hairs on the back of my arm go wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Miss Julie.
Appreciate you. Thank you, baby.
Hey, and I'm so sorry. I really do have to run. I may, what I might do? I'm going to run. Juliana, I met this amazing woman. Instagram remains one of the banes of my existence. I don't know what filter you make to look that pretty, but I'm sure it's ones for over. Yeah. I love it and I hate it. And so I popped on Juliana's room the other day, and apparently she and some other people have figured it out with elegance and an accent. Juliana, thank you for popping in right now.
Thank you, Forbes. I was amazed that you were just here. I popped in really quick, and I'm just excited to follow you. You are the queen of pitch, and you are the queen of the world. I mean, come on. You really inspire me just from listening to you and just connecting with you just in one room. We started just in one room, and we connected really, really fast. For all of you, I'm Juliana. I do have an accent. I'm from Peru, and I came here to the United States to live a better life. And I am living my digital dream. I am a mom of two, and I live in Sarasota, Florida. I started my online business coach on Instagram during the pandemic last year, and it's thriving. And I'm just an ambitious woman and person that, with hard work, dedication, and a strong mindset, I believe success will always follow. But for me, that I believe is the most is how much impact you can make on someone's lives. So that's my motto. Always provide too much, you cannot give too much value, right? You can always give a lot of value. And I think that's my mission, always empowering others and give so much value that people will be attracted to you and your mission.
So here's what's crazy, guys. You need to understand. So Juliana was just doing a room on Instagram. She has no idea who I am, and I don't really come in. It's okay that 3 people in the world don't know me. I'd say it's because she's from Peru. No, I'm just kidding. I make no expectation. Billy Mays taught me that decades ago. Forbes, always put your hand out. Don't assume anybody has any idea who you are. Be gracious and giving. And we connected. And now she popped into a room where I do know everybody here for years. She reached out, and you can do that now with a celebrity of your choice. I was on the other night with somebody that I'd always wanted to connect with. By the way, she's down the road from me here in St. Pete. So there's all kinds of opportunities. My clock is ticking. I know you and I will continue to talk offline. A huge fan of yours and what you said, and ready to master Instagram. Scott, you have no idea who I am, and I appreciate that. The other day when you spoke, man, I couldn't stop crying, and I talked about you today. And you want to talk about a movie? If Glenn Morshower doesn't know your story, he needs to. The world needs to, because I think one of the biggest 2 takeaways I got from your story was how you go to seek to trust somebody and they betray you. What do you do with that? How do you ever learn to master trust again? And then how do you put it behind you and move forward? So, baby, I only got a couple minutes, but please jump on and say hi.
Well, let me start by saying this. My name's Scott Lumley. I'm a former runaway, a former putney, a former cowboy, a former formerly married. I'm on here to make a few new friends and let my enemies know I'm still alive. So, to answer that question, Forbes, and thank you so much for bringing me up. It's not easy to come through what I went through and trust after that. I think you always have one eye open after that. So, I can't walk through Walmart with my kids. I can't, without holding their hands. I can't let them play in my front yard without looking out the window. I just can't do it. I won't let them with anybody that I've not been with for many, many years. Each kid's assigned somebody to make sure that they've got their hand held. It's just, I could go through a laundry list of things, but I don't think you ever get through truly trust. Now, I think you learn, there is a level of forgiveness, but no, I think you live the rest of your life with one eye open. And quite frankly, I think a lot of people in this world needs to wake up and pay attention.
Well, the other thing is, and you and I will have a conversation outside of this, maybe open a room, because I have a very clear vision of that.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate appreciate you sharing that. This is Eric Swanson. I'm just unmuting myself quickly.
Oh, gosh. All right. You know what? Thank you, Eric. I love you. Hey, so Scott, real quick. You and I need to have a room outside of this because I've done some work that nobody here knows that I really do, a thing called Breakthrough. And it's a crazy training that I created. I've been doing it for 20 years and I changed people's lives. I did not realize that 80 to 90% of people who came to me were in fact raped, molested, hurt. And I have a thing I do. I do not approve of the word forgiveness. When I listened to you the other day and you guys go, your head's going to go all over. We don't have time to do that right now. But the way you talked about and what you talked about, man, we need to have a chat offline because I've got a platform, Glenn's got a platform, and people need to hear and just hear what you just said on so many levels. So big hug to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Brenda, Brenda just did something amazing. She just posted a picture of me in a dress. I was on stage on a cruise where I got chosen out of all 3,000 cruisers. I love lip sync. If you know about that, go to YouTube, you'll laugh your ass off. And I won. That was the second routine that I did. What people don't know about that, I made it look fun. I had a blast, man. Nothing like being the center of attention lip syncing because I can't sing. So Beyonce, move over, or J-Lo, move over because I can move and not sing as good as you. But my best friend died that morning. He was a survivor of the Malibu fires. He didn't mean to stay there. He got stuck in his big old mansion with his big old Rolls Royces. He had two and the Ferrari and everything else, everything everybody says they freaking want. And I just never told this before, his girlfriend, the woman he finally found after all of this time, was moving in that day. It was right on that cruise, Super Bowl week. We were going to celebrate on Sunday. Thursday morning, I get a call saying your friend, that he just died of a brain aneurysm. You want to talk about, and this was 2009, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. It was all happened. And then I went on and performed anyway. That's one of the things that if you hang out with me, you're going to understand that life does go on and how you show up anytime, how you do something is how you do everything. And life happens for you, not to you. I am sad. I am brokenhearted. But for the rest of my life, I will never forget how precious every day is, how you say thank you, and how I don't care if you got the 2 freaking rolls in the garage. It does not make your life any better.
Amen.
On that note, I got to go. I got tears in my eyes. I'm feeling so much crazy love. Eric, I love you. Thank you so much for taking over. Glenn, you're just a brother. So are you, Tony. Let's keep doing rooms like this. So reach out to me privately, maybe a little bit more structure, who knows, but I'm going to go eat and go to the bathroom. That's my alarm.
Hey, Forbes, real quick, do you want me to continue the room for a little bit? Or?
Yeah, actually, I do. You know what? I do. There's a lot of people here. Let me jump out.
You got to make some people moderators before you go for it.
All right. All right.
When you leave,
all right.
Stuck here.
Boom.
That's right.
Boom.
Good bunch of people to be stuck with.
Wait, hang on. I can do this. Hang on. I got a little finger on the button. All right, you guys are all in good hands right now. Brenda, I did not get it. Did you make Brenda the first speaker? I'll keep it on in the background, but I'm heading out. Mwah. For the moment, you guys, I got a class to teach. Woo! That's pretty funny.